Here is the new car. We sold the blue 981 and we picked up this black 718. I talked a little bit about why before in another video, but basically my wife wanted to drive it more often. We wanted to drive it around town a little bit more often. The layaway flywheel, the clutch, everything that was done to the blue one just made it really uncomfortable driving around town. All the solid bushings, the spherical bearings, it was very loud, uncomfortable in traffic. It was not easy to drive. So we picked up this 718 with a PDK. Yeah, I know automatic, but also it'll be much quicker on track. So it will still be largely a track car. So with that in mind, PDK will just be nice. So we've got heated 18 ways, which is fine for street use. I do have a bucket seat that will be going in for track days, so I'll just swap those. And we got steel brakes so that we can go with 19-inch Apex wheels for track. Love this spec though. Love the black with the gold wheels. It already has pageant yellow pads with some decent life on there. Cup 2 tires with quite a bit of life left. So today, going to take off the little blocks up in the front and drop this wing. It's got the Autoquest wing risers, which I did have on the blue one for a little while, but I found that they actually hurt the performance of the car. So I'm going to take those off, bring it down, plus these aftermarket non-Porsche bolts are rusting a little bit, and that's just ugly. So drop the wing back down and put it in the track setup as recommended from Porsche. So this has the PDLS Plus headlights, 18 ways, leather interior, deviated stitching in silver, just about everything. Apple CarPlay, sensors in the rear bumper. I didn't know that was a thing in the newer ones. Backup camera. That's quite unnecessary, but nice to have, I guess. So we'll go ahead and get 25 too small, so I think it's T27. Test on here. No. These ones are T30. Yeah. T30. Okay. 4 screws, 2 washers. These are junk now. I won't need to reuse these. But let me hold that up like that for now. 'Cause I need to hold this up while I get those 2 out. Really, just this being in here will do the trick. So let me do that. Oh, come on. plastic washers, no big deal. So now I just have to take off these uprights here, and then I'll put it back on. Okay, now got these brackets off. Took these off. Those will be going up for sale. I will never put them in again. That side, it's a cambered right here. So per Porsche recommendation, when you're going to track it, put it at the higher angle of attack here. So the lower hole, that goes in here, and then that spacer's incorrect. So bolt through the lower hole, then the spacer, and then put this guy in. It's when you get to the last spacer too that it becomes really a pain. You have to slide it in between the upright and the wing post, and just to get it just right is pretty difficult. So I'll get one on each side first. Really, what I can do, maybe, I'm gonna try something that I've not tried before. I'm gonna try and put it, since I can still lift it if I'm careful, that spacer should stay on while I do this one, and then they should both be on and slide down in to the respective places. Spacer, spacer. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes you just have to be smarter than the car. I think the Autoquest risers would be great if you had a little bit more front end aero. If you wanted to do dive planes on the front, I think it would match perfectly and add a ton of downforce. I just don't want to add dive planes. Such tiny movements now. I'll do something. I know I'm barely touching the paint here, but still makes me uneasy hearing it. So what we're gonna do is tape up the ends of this socket wrench, so at least it's not the metal hitting directly on there. Might be ridiculous, but that's okay. Make it a little bit softer. Softer impact, make me feel better. Okay. Okay. Not that I want to be hitting it, but if I, if I do, now it won't bother me as much, the sound of it. Do have a track day scheduled for January 25th at Sebring with Chin. So I just want to get the car set up in, stock form. See what it does compared to the 981 before I start modifying anything. Now, I say stock, but I'll definitely have the over axle pipes on before that track day, but that's minimal. That's okay. Those aren't going to do a whole lot for performance, honestly. It just will help the sound. Okay, so that is wing at track angle. Now I'll go remove those front blocks in the in front of the two front tires. Okay, so these there's two T25s under here. You really don't even need a lift or to jack it up. You can feel them if the car's not too low already. You can feel them right here. Although, if I were to jack this up, it would make the job a lot easier. I may jack up the other side. Just being lazy right now. Just one. Two. So it's just this little piece right here. So it sits here. You can see it's just got this little lip, maybe a centimeter, maybe 10 to 12 millimeters here. So this keeps air from going up when you're driving, streets. But for track, you remove this and it allows air to kind of duct into the wheel well a little bit better for brake cooling. But it also allows a little bit more downforce on the front end. And that matches the angle of the rear wing. I've opted to not put the car on the lift, or on the, not jack it up. It's just not necessary. This will be easy enough, especially with my right hand, I think. I will put the GT4 RS underbody aero back on here. I don't know if I'll get to it before January 25th, but I took it off the 981 so that I could put it on this car. It doesn't do a lot aerodynamically, I don't think. I think it's probably a little bit more brake cooling, but it is supposed to divert air, from out of the underside of the car, kind of diverts it. It's got three 3 or 4 guides that hello. Making the car better.
Putting the aero kit on?
No, not putting the RS aero kit on yet. Just taking off the little blocks that it has for street use, but you're supposed to take them out for track use.
It was a solid project for right now.
I thought so. I also lowered the wing and took the Autoquest risers out.